Hey everybody, welcome to another interesting episode of the math class. In today's topic, we are going to study something which has been requested to me over and over by a lot of you because you find this topic interesting. And this topic is nothing else but it's graph theory, the one that you see on the screen, right? So before wasting many moments in right here, let's directly jump to the whiteboard to understand what graph theory is. So graph theory doesn't mean something that you do on the graph paper, right? In a sense, graph theory is a topic in discrete mathematics, which is the launching pad for numerous technological innovations of today, which are like basically graph databases, right? Neo4j, which is a graph database, is one of the innovations that's built on graph theory. But then let's try to understand why do we require graph theory, right? Let's say you have a table like this, which is say a customers table, right? So say the customer name, customer city, and the product that the customer purchased, and the quantity of the product, right? So the name is say XYZ, city might be say NYC, product might be say smartphone, quantity 2. Second customer is ABC, city is say LA, and the product purchase is say laptop, quantity is 1, so on and so forth, right? So you have say a list of 1,000 such customers, and you want to get the uh, all the customers from particular cities, say NYC. You can easily do that from this table, right? You can easily maintain that data in this kind of a table. Such a table is called as like say a relational database management system, right? Let's not go into that detail, but now contrast this with another situation where you have say 5 people, A, B, C, D, and E. They have borrowed money from each other, so obviously they lend money to each other, right? So let's say A owes money to C and to E. D owes money to B and to E. E owes money to C and to A, right? Let's stop here for the while. So, and then let's show this in a table now, okay? Let's say the person A, B, C, right? And owes to and receives, right? So A owes money to C and to E and receives money from E. That's it, right? And then E owes money to C and A, right? Let's say D and E. So E owes money to C and A. And then D owes money to B and E, right? B and E. So now, don't you think that this kind of a table, like it's really complicated to interpret? Like, how do you interpret this table now? It's so confusing. Like you have to check each and every line, and then who owes money to whom and who gets money from whom. That's making things really messy, right? But how about just drawing something like this, where you have A, you have B, you have C, D, and say E, and then you just say that A owes money to C and E, like say this and this, right? And then D owes money to B and E. So D owes money to B and, okay, sorry, from here, right? B and E. And then E owes money to C and E, right? So E owes money to C and A. right? So how about this thing? So this makes it really easy for you to interpret the relationships, right? Using these lines and these nodes and the arrows. So this kind of a structure is called as a graph, all right? So to show you these kinds of relationships, a graph is the best way you can, maintain this data and then interpret that correctly, right? So the best application of graph theory is social media, right? Let's say you have a group of friends, one, two, three, four, five, like say A, B, C, D, and E. So A is a friend of B and B is a friend of A. A and C are friends, B and E are friends, but you see D and C are not friends. A and D are not friends. B and C are not friends on social media. So we will like say C and E are also friends, but D and E are not friends. So such kind of relationships can be easily shown through a structure like this, which is called as a graph, right? That's what graph theory is all about, right? So there's a lot of details to this, but then let's discuss few high-level important concepts about graph theory. But the first thing is directional and unidirectional graph. Okay, so what is directional and unidirectional? Let's say the same social media example, right? So these two people are, let's say these people are friends with each other. This person is a friend of this person, this person is a friend of this person, this one is a friend of this one. So it's not that this person is a friend of this person, but this person is not a friend of this person. That can happen, right? Both of them are friends with each other. So this line does not have any direction like this, right? This kind of an arrow doesn't exist in this line. So similarly, this line has no direction. Since they both are friends with each other, there's no direction. But then take, for example, this is like, say, a celebrity account or something like that. And this person follows the celebrity, this person follows the celebrity, this person follows. So the celebrity is being followed by these three people, but then this celebrity doesn't follow them in return, right? So that's a directional graph. There is a single direction here. It's from year to year, year to year. All right, so that's the concept of directional versus unidirectional connections, right? So another thing is that these things are called as nodes, right? These things, these circles, nodes or vertices, and the lines connecting them, they are called as edges, right? Right, and then there's another concept which is called as a weighted versus unweighted graph. So let's say we have like five cities, all right? A, B, C, D, and E. A, B, C, D, and E. So distance between A and E is like say 10 miles. Distance between E and D is like say 8 miles. D and C is like say 15 miles. C and B is like say 12 miles, and A and B is again say 15, say 18 miles, and then E and B is like say 7 miles, all right? So here you see even these connections do not have any direction, but still they have different intensities, right? They have been separated by different distances, right? The connection between B and C is of 12 units, whereas the one between D and C is of 15 units. So this kind of a graph where you have weights is called as a weighted graph. Right? Whereas if you come to the same social media example, you have five friends, say A, B, C, D, and E. So here, if like people are friends with each other, so now here it's so your social media application doesn't know like whether A and B are like say really close friends and B and C are like say less close friends and C and D are like say too close friends. A friend is a friend, right? There's no closeness measure related to friendship on social media. So this is an unweighted graph. Clear? So this is in short an introduction about graph theory. I hope you liked this video and this explanation. There are a lot of details to this as well. And if you request me to share, I can share them. If you comment on the video at the bottom, I'll be happy to share some few more details about the graph theory. But then this was more about an introduction. So I hope this has done the job for you. I until then, I wish you all happy studying. Um, See you in another session with another topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. If you like this video, please press the like button. For more such videos, subscribe to the channel. If you have suggestions for a new topic and would want to see a video made on that topic, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. Thanks for watching the video and see you in another video. Bye bye.